Complete project Gutenberg William Dean Howells works ***** Index of the project Gutenberg works of William Dean Howells compiled by David Widger Howells Contents. Click on the # before each title to view a linked table of contents for each of the 12 volumes. Click on the title itself to open the original online file. ### The Kentons ### Fennel and Rue ### Breen's Practice ### The March Family Trilogy ### Literature and Life ### April Hopes ### Literary Friends and Acquaintances ### Ragged Lady ### The Landlord at Lion's Head ### The Whole Family ### Venetian Life ### London Films ### Suburban Sketches ### 7 English Cities ### The Leatherwood God ### The Albany Depot ### The Minister's Charge ### Roman Holidays and Others ### Familiar Spanish Travels ### Annie Kilburn ### The Lady of the Aroostook ### A Foregone Conclusion ### Modern Italian Poets ### A Modern Instance ### A Traveller from Altruria ### Questionable Shapes ### Through the Eye of the Needle ### Southern Lights and Shadows ### Stories of Ohio ### Between the Dark and the Daylight ### A Chance Acquaintance ### A Little Swiss Surgeon ### A Pair of Patient Lovers ### The Story of a Play ### A Fearful Responsibility ### The Flight of Pony Baker ### The Coast of Bohemia ### Christmas Every Day ### Boy Life ### A Likely Story ### A Boy's Town ### Imaginary Interviews ### The Daughter of the Storage ### The Quality of Mercy ### A Counterfeit Presentment ### The Years of My Youth ### Mrs. Farrell ### My Year in a Log Cabin ### The Rise of Silas Lafame Books Without Tables of Contents The World of Chance Man of Letters, Man of Business Emile Zola The Sleeping Car An Open-Eyed Conspiracy The Garroters The Register The Elevator The Parlor Car Indian Summer Buying a Horse 5 o'clock Tea Evening Dress Bride Roses The Confession of St. Augustine Henry James, Jr. Psychological Countercurrent Tables of Contents of Volumes The Kentons by William Dean Howells Contents I2 3 4 v6 7 8 9 x 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 XXXXI XXII 23 XZIV 15 XXVI Fennel and Rue by William Dean Howells Contents I2 3 4 v6 7 8 9 x 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 XXXXI Dr. Breen's Practice by William Dean Howells 1881 Contents I2 3 4 v6 7 8 9 x 11 12 The entire March Family Trilogy Their Wedding Journey A Hazard of New Fortunes Their Silver Wedding Journey by William Dean Howells Contents Their Wedding Journey Either Outset 2 Midsummer Day's Dream 3 The Night Boat 4 A Day's Railroading v The Enchanted City, and Beyond 6 Niagara 7 Down the St. Lawrence 8 The Sentiment of Montreal 9 Quebec X Homeward and Home. 11 Niagara Revisited. A Hazard of New Fortunes Part 1st I2. 3 4 V6. 7 8. 9 X 11. 12 Part 2nd I2. 3 4 V6. 7 7. 9 X 11. 12 13. 14 Part 3rd I2. 3 4 V6. 7 8. 9 Part 4th I2. 3 4 V6. 7 8. 9 Part 5th I2. 3 4 V6. 7 8. 9 X 11. 12 13. 14 15. 16 17. 18 Their Silver Wedding Journey. Part I2. 3 4. V6. 7 8. 9 X 11. 12 13. 14 15. 16 17. 18 19. XXXXI. XXII 23. XXV Part 2. XXVI XXAE. XXVIII XXVI. XXXXXXI. XXUE XXXII. XXV XXXV. XXV XXAE. XXVIII XXVI. XLXLI. XLII XLII. XLIV XLV. XLVI XLAE. Part 3. XLXLI. LII. Live LV. LVI LVII. Late LIX. LXLXI. LXI LXIT. LXIV LXV. LXV LXAE. LX8 LX6. LXX LXXI. LXUE LXXII. LXXV LXXV. Literature and Life by William Dean Howells. Contents biographical. The Man of Letters as a Man of Business. I2. 3 4. V6. 7 8 9. X 11. Confessions of a Summer Colonist. I2. 3 4. The Editor's Relations with the Young Contributor. I2. 3 4. V6. Last Days in a Dutch Hotel. I2. 3 4 V6. 7 8. Some Anomalies of the Short Story. I2. 3 4. V6. Spanish Prisoners of War. I2. 3 4. American Literary Centers. I2. 3 4. V. The Standard Household Effect Company. I2. Staccato Notes of a Vanished Summer. I2. 3 4. V. Short Stories and Essays. Worries of a Winter Walk. I2. 3 Summer Isles of Eden. I2. 3 4. Wild Flowers of the Asphalt. I2. 3 4. A Circus in the Suburbs. I2. 3 4. A She Hamlet. I2. 3 The Midnight Platoon. I2. 3 4. V. The Beach at Rockaway. I2. 3 4. V6. Sawdust in the Arena. I2. 3 At a Dime Museum. I2. American Literature in Exile. I2. The Horse Show I2. 3-4. The Problem of the Summer I2. 3. Aesthetic New York 50-odd years ago I2. From New York into New England I2. 3-4. V. The Art of the Adsmith I2. 3. The Psychology of Plagiarism I2. Puritanism in American Fiction I2. The What and the How in Art I2. 3. Politics of American Authors I2. 3-4. Storage I2. 3-4. Floating Down the River on the Ohio I2. 3-4. V6. My Literary Passions Bibliographical I. The Bookcase at Home 2. Goldsmith 3. Servants 4. Irving v. First Fiction and Drama 6. Longfellow's Spanish Student 7. Scott 8. Light of Fancies 9. Pope X Various Preferences 11. Uncle Tom's Cabin 12. Ossian 13. Shakespeare 14. I. K. Marvel 15. Dickens 16. Wordsworth, Lowell, Chaucer 17. Macaulay 18. Critics and Reviews 19. A Non-Literary Episode XX. Thackeray XXI. Les Îlots de Tormes XXII. Curtis, Longfellow, Schlegel 23. Tennyson Xiv. Heine XXV. De Quincey, Gertie, Longfellow XXVI. George Eliot, Hawthorne, Gertie, Heine XXAE. Charles Reed XXVIII. Dante XX. Goldorny, Manzoni, D'Azeglio XXX. Pastor Fido Aminta, Romola, Yeast, Paul Ferrol XXXI. Erkman Chatrian, Jost Jerem Johnson XXY. Turgenev, Auerbach XXXII. Certain Preferences and Experiences XXIV. Valdes, Galdos, Verga, Zola, Trollope, Hardy XXXV. Tolstoy Criticism and Fiction I234 V6. 7-8. 9x11. 12-13. 14-15. 17-18. 19xx. XXIXXII. 23 XIV. XXVXXVI. XXAEPG Editors Bookmarks April Hopes 1887 by William Dean Howells Contents I2. 3-4. V6. 7-8. 9x11. 12-13. 14-15. 16-17. 18-19. XXXXI. XXII 23. XIV XXV. XXVI XXAE. XXVIII XXVI. XXXXXXI. XXUE XXXII. XXIV. XXXV XXV. XXAE XXVIII. XXXL. XLI XLII. XLII XLIV. XLV XLVI. XLAE XLATE. XL Literary Friends and Acquaintances by William Dean Howells. Contents: Literary Friends and Acquaintances. Bibliographical. My First Visit to New England. I2 3-4 v6 7-8 9x11 12-13 14-15 16-17 First Impressions of Literary New York. I2 3-4 v6 Roundabout to Boston. I2 3-4 v6 Literary Boston as I Knew It. I2 3-4 v6 7-8 9x Oliver Wendell Holmes. I2 3-4 v6 7-8 9 The White Mr. Longfellow. I2 3-4 v6 7-8 Studies of Lowell. I2 3-4 v6 7-8 9x11 12 Cambridge Neighbors. I2 3-4 v6 7-8 9x11 A Belated Guest. I2 3-4 My Mark Twain. I2 3-4 v6 7-8 9x11 12-13 14-15 16-17 19xx XXIXXII 23 XIV XXV Text Editors. Bookmarks. Ragged Lady by William Dean Howells. Contents: Part 1 I2 3-4 v6 7-8 9x11 12-13 14 Part 2 15-16 17-18 19xx 11xxii 23 XIV XXVXXVI XXAXX8 XXXXX XXXIXXY XXXIIXXV XXXVXXV XXAXX8 XXXL The Landlord at Lion's Head by William Dean Howells. Contents: The Landlord at Lion's Head. Part I. I2 3-4 v6 7-8 9x11 12-13 14-16 17-18 19xx XXIXXII 13 XIV XXVXXVI Part 2 XXAXX8 XXXXX XXXIXXY XXXIIXXV XXXVXXV XXAXX8 XXXL XLIXLII XLIIXLIV XLV XLVIXLAE XLATE XLIX LLI LIILIII Live LV The Whole Family, a novel by 12 authors by William Dean Howells, Mary E. Wilkins Freeman, Mary Heaton Vorse, Mary Stewart Cutting, Elizabeth Jordan, John Kendrick Bangs, Henry James, Elizabeth Stuart Phelps, Edith Wyatt, Mary Raymond Shipman Andrews, Alice Brown, Henry Van Dyke. Contents: I the Father, by William Dean Howells. 2. The Old Maid Aunt, by Mary E. Wilkins Freeman. 3. The Grandmother, by Mary Heaton Vorse. 4. The Daughter-in-Law, by Mary Stuart Cutting v. The Schoolgirl, by Elizabeth Jordan. 6. The Son-in-Law, by John Kendrick Bangs. 7. The Married Son, by Henry James VIII. The Married Daughter, by Elizabeth Stuart Phelps. 9. The Mother, by Edith Wyatt. X. The Schoolboy, by Mary Raymond Shipman Andrews. 11. Peggy, by Alice Brown. 12. The Friend of the Family, by Henry Van Dyke. Venetian Life, by William Dean Howells. Contents: advertisement to the second edition. Contents: Chapter I, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter V, Chapter 6, Chapter 7, Chapter 8, Chapter 9, Chapter X, Chapter 11, Chapter 12, Chapter 13, Chapter 14, Chapter 15, Chapter 16, Chapter 17, Chapter 18, Chapter 19, Chapter XX, Chapter XXI, Chapter XXII. Detailed contents: I. Venice in Venice 2. Arrival and first days in Venice 3. The winter in Venice 4. Comincia far called ov opera and theatres 6. Venetian dinners and diners 7. Housekeeping in Venice 8. The balcony on the Grand Canal 9. A daybreak ramble X. The Mouse 11. Churches and pictures 12. Some islands of the lagoons 13. The Armenians 14. The Ghetto and the Jews of Venice 15. Some memorable places 16. Commerce 17. Venetian holidays 18. Christmas holidays 19. Lovemaking and marrying, baptisms and burials XX. Venetian trays and characters XXI. Society XXII. Our Last Year in Venice Index. London Films by W. D. Howells. Contents: I 2 3 4 v 6 7 8 9 x 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 XX. List of illustrations: Fleet Street and St. Dunstan's Church. The carriages drawn up beside the Sacred Close. Sunday afternoon, Hyde Park. Rotten Row. A block in the Strand. St. Paul's Cathedral. Westminster Abbey. The Horse Guards, Whitehall. Westminster Bridge and Clock Tower. A houseboat ox the Thames at Henley. The crowd of sightseers at Henley. The Tower of London. St. Olave's, Tooley Street. London Bridge. The ancient church of St. Magnus. The East India House of Charles Lamb's time. Church of the Dutch Refugees. Bow Bells, St. Mary le Bow, Cheapside. Staple Inn, Holborn. Clifford's Inn Hall. Ancient Church of St. Martin's in the Fields. Hyde Park in October. Thames Embankment. Suburban Sketches by William Dean Howells, author of Venetian Life, Italian Journeys etc. Contents: Mrs. Johnson, doorstep acquaintance, a pedestrian tour. By horse car to Boston, a day's pleasure, a romance of real life scene, Jubilee days, some lessons from the School of Morals. Flitting illustrations, but I suppose this wine is not made of grapes, Signor. Looking about, I saw two women. The young lady in black, who alighted at a most ordinary little street. That sweet young blonde, who arrives by most trains. Frank and Lucy stalked ahead, with shawls dragging from their arms. They skirmish about him with every sort of query. A gaunt figure of forlorn and curious smartness. The spectacle as we beheld it. Vacant and ceremonious zeal. 7 English Cities by W. D. Howells. Contents: a modest liking for Liverpool, some merits of Manchester, in smokiest Sheffield, 9 days wonder in York, 2 Yorkish episodes a day at Doncaster, and an hour out of Durham, the mother of the American Athens, Aberystwyth, a Welsh watering place, Llandudno, another Welsh watering place. Glimpses of English character, The Leatherwood God by William Dean Howells. Contents: publisher's note, list of illustrations, The Leatherwood God I234V6789X 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 XXXXIXXII 23 List of illustrations. Nancy stood staring at her, with words beyond saying in her heart, words that rose in her throat and choked her. You believe, maybe, that you would be struck dead if you said the things that I do, but why ain't I struck dead? It's my cloth. I spun it, I wove it, every thread. It's all we've got for our clothes this winter. Now you can see how it feels to have your own husband slap you. She had begun to wash his wound, very gently, though she spoke so roughly. While he murmured with the pain, and with the comfort of the pain they swarmed forward to the altar place and flung themselves on the ground, and heaped the pulpit steps with their bodies, and he went down again, and when he come up again, his face was all soaking wet, like he'd been crying under the water. The Albany Depot, a farce by W. D. Howells. The action passes in Boston. I, Mr. and Mrs. Edward Roberts, the charwoman 2. Roberts and Willis Campbell 3. The MCILHENYS, Roberts, and Campbell 4. Roberts and Campbell v. Mrs. Roberts, Mrs. Campbell, Roberts, and Campbell. Then the cook and MCILHENY, the minister's charge, or The Apprenticeship of Lemuel Barker by William Dean Howells. Contents: the minister's charge, I2. 3 4. V6. 7 8. 9 x 11. 12 13. 14 15. 16 17. 18 19. XXXXI. XXII 23. XXIV XXV. XXVI XXAX8. XXXXX. XXXI XXY. XXXII XXIV. XXXV Roman Holidays and Others by W. D. Howells. Illustrated contents: Roman Holidays and Others, I Up and Down Madeira. 2 uptown blocks into Spain 3. Ashore at Genoa 4. Naples and her joyful noise v Pompeii revisited 6. Roman holidays I hotels, pensions, and apartments 2. A praise of New Rome 3. The Colosseum and the Forum 4. The Anglo-American neighborhood of the Spanish Steps v an effort to be honest with antiquity 6. Personal relations with the past 7. Chances in churches 8. A few villas 9. Dramatic incidents x seeing Rome as Romans cus 11. In and about the Vatican 12. Superficial observations and conjectures 13. Casual impressions 14. Tivoli and Frascati 15. A few remaining moments 7. A week at Lagorn 8. Over at Pisa 9. Back at Genoa x Eden after the fall illustrations 01 Glimpse outside of modern Rome 02 Funchal Bay 03 Boats and Diving Boys, Funchal 04 Gibraltar from the Bay 05 Gibraltar from the neutral ground 06 Daughters of Climate along the Riviera 07 Typical monument in the Campo Santo 08 Naples and her joyful noise 09 Outdoor life in Old Naples 10 Upstairs Street in Old Naples 11 Naples and the Castel St. Elmo from the Mole 12 Excavating at Pompeii 13 The Street of Tombs, Pompeii 14 The Capuchin Church, Rome 15 Glimpse inside of Imperial Rome 16 Interior of Colosseum from the south 17 The Sacred Way through the Forum 18 The Roman Forum 19 Spanish Steps 20 Toward the Pincian Hill 21 Sepulchre of Romulus, Forum 22 Trajan's Forum and Column 23 The Rostra in the Forum 24 The Mosaics under the Capuchin Church 25 Santa Maria Sopra Minerva 26 Church op Araceli 27 Church of Santa Maggiore 28 Michelangelo's Mosas in San Pietro in Vincoli 29 The Little Stadium with its gradins 30 Casino of the Villa Doria and Gardens 31 The Carnival, as it once was, 32 The Fountain of Trevi 33 Colonnade and Fountain at St. Peter's 34 Sistine Chapel, Vatican Palace 35 Piazza del Popolo from the Pincian Hill 36 The Baths of Diocletian 37 Church of St. John Lateran and Lateran Palace 38 Stairway and Fountain, Villa d'Este 39 Villa Falconeri, Entrance, Frascati 40 In the Gardens of the Villa Falconeri 41 The Marble Faun 42 Marcus Aurelius with outstretched arm 43 In the Villa Medici 44 The Baths of Caracalla 45 Piazza Victor Emmanuel, Lagorn 46 The Canal at Lagorn 47 The Cathedral, Baptistery, and Leaning Tower, Pisa 48 with almost any of my backgrounds 49 Washing in the River, Genoa 50 Realistic Group in the Campo Santo 51 Monaco 52 The Casino, Monte Carlo Familiar Spanish Travels by W. D. Howells Contents Familiar Spanish Travels I Autobiographical Approaches to San Sebastian and Beautiful by Ski 3. Burgos and the Bitter Cold of Burgos 4. The Variety of Valladolid v Phases of Madrid 6. A Night and Day in Toledo 7. The Great Gridiron of St. Lawrence 8. Cordova and the Way There 9. First Days in Civil X Civilian Aspects and Incidents 11. 2 and in Granada 12. The Surprises of Ronda 13. Algeciras and Tara for Illustrations 01 Porta del Sol, Gate of the Sun, Toledo 02 The Casino, San Sebastian, looks out upon the curving Conca and the blue bay 03 The sea sweeps inland in a circle of blue, to form the entrance to the harbor. San Sebastian 04 Groups of women on their knees beating clothes in the water 05 The iron grey bulk of the cathedral rears itself from clustering walls and roofs 06 The tomb of Donna Maria Manuel 7 a.m. Burgos Street 8 a.m. Street leading to the cathedral 09 The University of Valladolid 10 Church of San Pablo 11 The house in which Philip II was born 12 The Bull Ring, Madrid 13 Guard Mount in the Plaza de Armas, Royal Palace, Madrid 14 Riches of grey roof and white wall markets in surpassable antiquity 15 An ancient corner of the city 16 The bridge across the Yellow Tagus 17 The town and monastery of Escorial 18 The pantheon of the kings and queens of Spain 19 The ancient city of Cordova 20 The bell tower of the Great Mosque, Cordova 21 Gateway of the Bridge, Cordova 22 In attitudes of silent devotion 23 The cathedral and tower of the Giralda 24 Ancient Roman columns lifting aloft the figures of Hercules and Caesar 25 Gardens of the Alcázar 26 The Court of Flags and Tower of the Giralda 27 To the Alhambra 28 The Court of the Lions 29 Looking northwest from the Generalife over Granada 30 Looking across the new bridge, 300 feet high, over the Guadalajara Gorge, Ronda 31 View of Algeciras Annie Kilburn A novel by W. D. Howells Contents I2 3 4 V6 7 8 9 x 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 XXXXI XXII 23 XZIV XXV XXVI XXAE XX8 XX XXX The Lady of the Aroostook by William Dean Howells Contents I2 3 4 V6 7 8 9 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 XXXXI XXII 23 XZIV XXV XXVI XXAE A Foregone Conclusion by William Dean Howells 15th edition. Contents A Foregone Conclusion I2 3 4 V6 7 8 9 x 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 Modern Italian Poets Essays and Versions by William Dean Howells Contents Introduction Arcadian Shepherds Giuseppe Perini Vittorio Alfri Vincenzo Monti and Ugo Foscolo Notes, Alessandro Manzoni Silvio Pellico, Tommaso Grossi, Luigi Correa, and Giovanni Burchett Giambattista Nicolini Giacomo Leopardi Giuseppe Giusti Francesco D'Orlongaro Giovanni Prati Eliardo Eliardi Notes, Giulio Carcano, Arnoldo Fusinato and Luigi Mercantini. Conclusion: a modern instance by William Dean Howells. Contents. Introduction. The sequence of Mr. Howells's books. A modern instance. I2. 3 4. V6. 7 8. 9 x 11. 12 13. 14 15. 16 17. 18 19. XXXXI. XXII 23. XXIV XXV. XXVI XXAE. XXVIII XXVI. XXXXXXI. XXUE XXXII. XXIV XXXV. XXV XXAE. XXVIII XXVI. XLXLI. A Traveller from Altruria. Romance by W. D. Howells. 1908. Contents: A Traveller from Altruria. I2 3 4 V6 7 8 9 x 11 12. Questionable Shapes by W. D. Howells. Published May 1903. Contents: His apparition. The angel of the Lord. Though one rose from the dead through the eye of the needle. A romance with an introduction by William Dean Howells. 1907. Contents: Introduction. Part 1st. I2 3 4 V6 7 8 9 x 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 XXXXI XXII 23 XXIV XXV XXVI XXAE. Part 2nd. I2 3 4 V6 7 8 9 x 11 12 13 14. Southern Lights and Shadows. Harper's Novelettes by Various. Edited by William Dean Howells and Henry Mills Alden. 1907. Contents: Introduction. The capture of Andy Proudfoot. The level of fortune. Pap Overholt in the piney woods. My fifth in Mammy. An incident. A snipe hunt. The courtship of Colonel Bill. The balance of power. Stories of Ohio by William Dean Howells. 1897. Contents. Preface. Stories of Ohio. I, the Ice Folk and the Earth Folk. To Ohio as a part of France. 3. Ohio becomes English. I. 40 Years' War for the West. VTHE Captivity of James Smith with Captivity of Boone and Kenton. 8th Renegades. 80th Wickedest Deed in Our History. 9th Torture of Colonel Crawford. XTHE Escape of Knight and Slover. Zith Indian Wars and St. Clair's Defeat. Zyth Indian Wars and Wayne's Victory. Zythrindian Fighters. Ziv Later Captivities. Xvindian Heroes and Sages. Xvi Life in the Backwoods. Xayuth First Great Settlements. Xatith State of Ohio in the War of 1812. Zykes a foolish man, a philosopher, and a fanatic. Xways out. Xzith Fight with Slavery. Xyuth Civil War in Ohio. 23 Famous Ohio Soldiers. Xivosho Statesmen. Xvth Notable Ohioans. Xay Incidents and Characteristics. Illustrations. Stone Axes. Serpent Mound. Pichorillani, chief town of the Miamis Indians. Carry off the women Indians. Delivering up captives. Indian war parties joining the English pioneers. Indian baptism of James Smith. An Indian prayer. Daniel Boone shooting with the Indians. Kenton and Gertie. Simon Gertie massacre of the Christian Indians by the whites. Execution of Crawford. Knight escapes the defeat of St. Clair. The escape of Kennon. St. Clair's defeat a white Indian Wetzel, Indian fighter bearskin cap. On a ramrod Brickle leaves his Indian father. Alder returns to his family Logan's Elm Tecumseh Tomahawk Ohio cabin lost in the woods Marietta, Ohio Admiral Perry on Lake Erie Arun Burr and Blenner Harset Johnny Appleseed proclaimed himself the Lord Jesus Christ. Governor Clinton Early railroad steamboat explosion Indian evacuation by river slavery issue John Brown making pikes for slaves John Morgan invades Ohio in 1863 hiding with the pigs a Copperhead walks with General Morgan Rutherford Hayes William Tecumseh Sherman General George Custer James A. Garfield General Philip H. Sheridan Benjamin Harrison Salmon P. Chase John Sherman William Kinley Thomas Corwin Thomas Edison Whitelaw Reid Harriet Beecher Stowe George Kennan Between the Dark and the Daylight Romances by W. D. Howells 1907 Contents Chap Asleep and a Forgetting the Eidolons of Brooks Alford A memory that worked overtime A case of metaphantasmia Edith Braybridge's offer The chick of the Easter egg illustrations Their joint study of her dancing card did not help them out A lively matron, of as youthful a temperament as the lively girls she brought in her train, burst upon them She shook her head, and said, "Nobody has been here, except, no burglar could have missed me if he had wanted an easy mark You shall not say that." She glared at Editha. "What you got that black on for?" A Chance Acquaintance. By W. D. Howells. 1873 Contents I up the Saguenay. To Mrs. Ellison's little maneuver. 3 on the way back to Quebec. 4 Mr. Arbuton's inspiration. Mr. Arbuton makes himself agreeable. 6 A letter of Kitty's. 7 Love's young dream. 8 Next morning. 9 Mr. Arbuton's infatuation. Mr. Arbuton speaks. 11 Kitty answers. 12 The picnic at Chateau Bigot. 13 Ordeal. 14 Afterwards. A Little Swiss Sojourn by W. D. Howells Illustrated New York Harper and Brothers, Franklin Square 1893 Contents First paper Second paper Illustrations Tourists at Montreux Sign of the White Cross in entrance to Villeneuve Post Office, Villeneuve The Castle of Chillon A railroad servant A bit of Villeneuve The prisoner of Chillon One of the fountains they helped to make the hay in the marshes Cattle at the fountains Washing clothes in the lake Flirtation at the fountains The wine press Castle Avaigle The market at Vevey The market, Vevey, a bargain before the notary Germans at Montreux Church Terrace Montreux Tour up the lake A pair of patient lovers by W. D. Howells Contents A pair of patient lovers The pursuit of the piano. A difficult case. The magic of a voice. A circle in the water. The story of a play A novel by W. D. Howells 1898 Contents Chapter I Chapter 2 Chapter 3 Chapter 4 Chapter V Chapter 6 Chapter 7 Chapter 8 Chapter 9 Chapter X Chapter 11 Chapter 12 Chapter 13 Chapter 14 Chapter 15 Chapter 16 Chapter 17 Chapter 18 Chapter 19 Chapter XX. Chapter XXI. Chapter XXII. Chapter 23. Chapter XIV. Chapter XXV. A Fearful Responsibility and Other Stories by William D. Howells. Contents. A fearful responsibility at the sign of the savage Tonelli's marriage. The Flight of Pony Baker. A Boys Town Story by W. D. Howells, author of A Boys Town Christmas Every Day etc. Illustrated contents. Chap. Page. I. Pony's mother, and why he had a right to run off. 3. To the right that Pony had to run off, from the way his father acted. 15. 3. Jim Leonard's hairbreadth escape. 32. 4. The scrape that Jim Leonard got the boys into. 52. V. About running away to the Indian reservation on a canal boat, and how the plan failed. 77. 6. How the Indians came to the boys' town and Jim Leonard acted the coward. 89. 7. How Frank Baker spent the 4th at Papaw Bottom, and saw the 4th of July. Boy 105. 8. How Pony Baker came pretty near running off with a circus. 141. 9. How Pony did not quite get off with the circus. 152. X. The adventures that Pony's cousin, Frank Baker, had with a pocket full of money. 165. 11. How Jim Leonard planned for Pony Baker to run off on a raft. 192. 12. How Jim Leonard backed out, and Pony had to give it up. 208. Illustrations. All the fellows came round and asked him what he was going to do now. Frontispiece. Being dressed so well was one of the worst things that was done to him by his mother, for I'll learn that limb to sleep in a cow barn. 50. Real Indians, in blankets, with bows and arrows. 90. Very smiling looking. 124. He began being cold and stiff with her the very next morning. 144. Frank Baker was one of those fellows that every mother would feel her boy was safe with. 166. Why, you ain't afraid, are you, Pony? 204. The Coast of Bohemia by W. D. Howells. Biographical edition. 1899. Table of Contents. Chapter IXXI. 2XXII. 323. 4XIV. VXXV. 6XXVI. 7XXAE. 8XXVIII. 9x6. XXXX. 11XXXI. 12xxy. 13XXXII. 14xxiv. 15XXXV. 16xxv. 17xxae. 18xxviii. 19xx. XX Christmas Every Day and Other Stories Told for Children by W. D. Howells. Contents. Christmas Every Day. 3 Turkeys Turning the Tables. 25 The Pony Engine and the Pacific Express. 51 The Pumpkin Glory. 71 Butterfly Flutterby and Flutterby Butterfly. 111 Illustrations. Page having bonfires in the backyard of the palace. Frontispiece. The old gobbler First Premium said they were going to turn the tables now. 35 2 Little Pumpkin Seeds. 75 Took the First Premium at the county fair. 83 Here's that little fool pumpkin, said the farmer. 85 Caught his trousers on a shingle nail, and stuck. 93 My sakes, it's coming to life. 103 Tailpiece. 107 Fix dusters. Make ready. Aim. dust. 121 The general-in-chief used to go behind the church and cry. 125 The young Khan and Khant entered the kingdom with a magnificent retinue. 131 She was going to take the case into her own hands. 135 The Imam put his head to the floor. 139 They began to scream, "Oh, the cow! The cow!" 143 Boy Life Stories and Readings selected from the works of William Dean Howells and arranged for supplementary reading in elementary schools by Percival Chubb, Director of English in the Ethical Culture School, New York. Illustrated Contents Page Introduction 9 Adventures in a Boy's Town. How Pony Baker Came Pretty Near Running Off with a Circus. 3 The Circus Magician. 13 Jim Leonard's Hairbreadth Escape. 23 2 Life in a Boy's Town. The Town. 41 Earliest Memories. 45 Home Life. 47 The River. 51 Swimming. 55 Skating. 61 Manners and Customs. 64 Girls. 68 Mothers. 69 A Brother. 73 A Friend. 79 3 Games and Pastimes. Marbles. 89 Races. 91 A Mean Trick. 93 Tops. 96 Kites. 98 The Butler Guards. 103 Pets. 108 Indians. 124 Guns. 129 Nutting. 138 The Fire Engines. 145 4 Glimpses of the Larger World. The Traveling Circus. 151 Passing Shows. 163 The Theatre Comes to Town. 168 The World Opened by Books. 171 V. The Last of a Boy's Town. 183 Illustrations Page Kite Time Frontispiece. He began being cold and stiff with her the very next morning. 5 The First Lock. 43 The Butler Guards. 105 All at Once There the Indians Were. 127 Nutting. 141 A Likely Story Farce by W. D. Howells. Illustrated Contents Page Mr. and Mrs. Willis Campbell. 7 Mr. Welling, Mr. Campbell. 29 Mrs. Campbell, Mr. Welling, Mr. Campbell. 34 Jane, Mrs. Campbell, Welling, Campbell. 39 Mrs. Campbell, Welling, Campbell. 41 Jane, Mrs. Campbell, Welling, Campbell. 43 Mrs. Campbell, Welling, Campbell. 44 Miss Rice, Miss Greenway, and the others. 48 Miss Greenway, Mr. Welling. 50 Miss Rice, then Mr. and Mrs. Campbell, and the others. 53 Illustrations. The most exciting part of IT frontispiece. Mr. Welling explains. Facing page 52 A Boy's Town described for Harper's Young People by W. D. Howells. Contents Chapter Page I Earliest Experiences 1-2 Home and Kindred 10-3 The River 24-4 The Canal and its Basin 36-v The Hydraulic and its Reservoirs. Old River 45-6 Schools and Teachers 53-7 Manners and Customs 67-8 Plays and Pastimes 89 Circuses and Shows 93 Hides and Holidays 110-11 Musters and Elections 121-12 Pets 133-13 Guns and Gunning 148-14 Foraging 161-15 My Boy 171-16 Other boys 183:17. Fantasies and superstitions 197:18. The nature of boys 205:19. The town itself 215xx. Traits and characters 228xxi. Last days 237 illustrations. One day he came up to my boy where he sat fishing frontispiece. The first lock facing P2 the passenger is a one-legged man 8 run. The constable will catch you. 18 He told them that he had got them now. 44 That honor was reserved for men of the kind I have mentioned. 50 A citizen's character for cleverness or meanness was fixed by his walking round or over the rings. 82 Kite time 92 The boys began to celebrate it with guns and pistols. 110 The butler guards 122 All at once there the Indians were 150 Foraging 168 The beacon of death 180 He always ran by the place as fast as he could 198 The artist seemed satisfied himself 220 My boy remembers coming from Cincinnati in the stage 224 Imaginary interviews by W. D. Howells 1910 Contents Imaginary interviews The restoration of the easy chair by way of introduction A year of spring and a life of youth Sclerosis of the tastes The practices and precepts of vaudeville Intimations of Italian opera The superiority of our inferiors Unimportance of women in republics Having just got home New York to the homecomers Cheapness of the costliest city on earth Ways and means of living in New York The quality of Boston and the quantity of New York The whirl of life in our first circles The magazine muse Comparative luxuries of travel Qualities without defects A wasted opportunity A niece's literary advice to her uncle A search for celebrity Practical immortality on earth Around a rainy-day fire The advantages of quotational criticism Reading for a grandfather Some moments with the muse A normal hero and heroine Out of work Other essays Autumn in the country and city Personal and epistolary addresses Dressing for hotel dinner The counsel of literary age to literary youth The unsatisfactoriness of unfriendly criticism The fickleness of age The renewal of inspiration The summer sojourn of Florindo and Lindora To have the honor of meeting a day at Bronx Park Illustrations at the Opera 5th Avenue at 34th Street 5th Avenue from the top of a motorbus Charles Embankment, below Harvard Bridge The Mall, Central Park Broadway at night. Election night crowds Zoological Gardens, Bronx Park The daughter of the storage William Dean Howells The daughter of the storage and other things in prose and verse W. D. Howells Harper and Brothers Publishers New York and London Contents Page I The daughter of the storage 3-2 A presentiment 45-3 Captain Dunleavy's last trip 67-4 The return to favor 81 v Somebody's mother 93-6 The face at the window 107-7 An experience 117-8 The borders 127-9 Breakfast is my best meal 141-X The mother Bird 15111 The Amigo 16112 Black Cross Farm 17313 The Critical Bookstore 18514 A Feast of Reason 22715 City and Country in the Fall 24316 Table Talk 25317 The Escapade of a Grandfather 26918 Self-Sacrifice, A Fast Tragedy 28519 The Night Before Christmas 319 The Quality of Mercy A novel by W. D. Howells 1892 Contents Part 1st I2 3-4 V6 7-8 9x11 12-13 14-15 16-17 18-19 XXXXI XXII 23 XIV Part 2nd I2 3-4 V6 7-8 9x11 12-13 14-15 16-17 18-19 XXXXI Part 3rd I2 3-4 V6 7-8 9x11 by William Dean Howells, by Charles Dudley Warner, by Constance F. Wilson, by Mary E. Wilkins, by Lew Wallace. A Counterfeit Presentment and the Parlor Car by William D. Howells. Contents page I. An Extraordinary Resemblance, 7-2. Distinctions and Differences, 61-3. Dissolving Views, 99-4. Not at all like, 141. The Parlor Car, a Farce, 191 Years of My Youth by W. D. Howells with introduction and illustrations from photographs taken expressly for this book by Clifton Johnson. In certain versions of this text, in certain browsers, clicking on this symbol will bring up a larger version of the illustration. Preface by the illustrator. Illustrations chapters, I, 2, 3, 4. Some typographical errors have been corrected. A list follows the text. A text transcriber's note. Illustrations. The waterside at Martin's Ferry frontispiece. The Ohio River at Wheeling, West Virginia facing P10 Hamilton, Ohio. The boys' town of Mr. Howells's youth. 16. The Miami Canal at Hamilton. 22. The now abandoned canal at Dayton as it appears on the borders of the city. 40. The Little Miami River at Eureka Mills, 12 miles east of Dayton. 44. Overlooking the island which the Howells family cultivated. 54. The vicinity where Mr. Howells lived his year in a log cabin. 61. Of the last log houses to survive in the vicinity of Jefferson. 82. The four-story office erected by Mr. Howells's father. 116. The Ohio State House at Columbus viewed from High Street. 138. The State House yard on the State Street side. 158. Old-time dwellings on one of the Columbus streets that Mr. Howells used to frequent. 170. The Medical College at Columbus. 184. The quaint doorway of the Medical College through which Mr. Howells passed daily while he roomed in the Building 224 looking into the State House grounds toward the broad flight of steps before the west front of the building 236 Mrs. Farrell, a novel by William Dean Howells with an introduction by Mildred Howells, chapter I 2, 3, 4, v. 6, 7, 8, 9, x, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. My Year in a Log Cabin by W. D. Howells, a bit of autobiography illustrated I, 2, 3, 4, v. 6, 7, 8, 9, x, 11, 12, 13. The Rise of Silas Lapham by William Dean Howells. Contents: Chapter I, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter V, Chapter 6, Chapter 7, Chapter 8, Chapter 9, Chapter X, Chapter 11, Chapter 12, Chapter 13, Chapter 14, Chapter 15, Chapter 16, Chapter 17, Chapter 18, Chapter 19, Chapter XX, Chapter XXI, Chapter XXII, Chapter 23, Chapter XIV, Chapter XXV, Chapter XXVI, Chapter XXAE. Italian Journeys by W. D. Howells, 1867 and 1895. Contents: The Road to Rome from Venice. I. Leaving Venice. 2. From Padua to Ferrara. 3. The picturesque, the improbable, and the pathetic in Ferrara. I. 2. 3, 4. v6. 7, 4. Through Bologna to Genoa. v. Up and down Genoa. 6. By sea from Genoa to Naples. 7. Certain things in Naples. 8. A day in Pompeii. 9. A half hour at Herculaneum. X. Capri and Capriots. 11. The Protestant ragged schools at Naples. 12. Between Rome and Naples. 13. Roman pearls. Forza Maggiore. At Padua, a pilgrimage to Petrarca's house at Arca. A visit to the Cimbri. Minor travels. I. Pisa. 2. The Ferrara Road. 3. Trieste. 4. Barsano. v. Possagno, Canova's birthplace. 6. Como. Stopping at Vicenza, Verona, and Parma. Ducal Mantua. ****** End of the Project Gutenberg ebook. Complete Project Gutenberg. William Dean Howells works. ****** Updated editions will replace the previous one, the old editions will be renamed. Creating the works from print editions not protected by U.S. copyright law means that no one owns a United States copyright in these works, so the Foundation, and you, can copy and distribute it in the United States without permission and without paying copyright royalties. Special rules, set forth in the general terms of use part of this license, apply to copying and distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept and trademark. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark, and may not be used if you charge for an ebook, except by following the terms of the trademark license, including paying royalties for use of the Project Gutenberg trademark. If you do not charge anything for copies of this ebook, Complying with the trademark license is very easy. You may use this ebook for nearly any purpose, such as creation of derivative works, reports, performances and research. Project Gutenberg ebooks may be modified and printed and given away. You may do practically anything in the United States with ebooks not protected by U.S. copyright law. Redistribution is subject to the trademark license, especially commercial redistribution. Start. Full license. The full Project Gutenberg license. Please read this before you distribute or use this work to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting the free distribution of electronic works. By using or distributing this work, or any other work associated in any way with the phrase Project Gutenberg, you agree to comply with all the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license available with this file or online at www.gutenberg.org/license. Section 1. General Terms of Use and Redistributing Project Gutenberg Trademark Symbol Electronic Works 1.0. By reading or using any part of this Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work, you indicate that you have read, understand, agree to and accept all the terms of this license and intellectual property, trademark/copyright, agreement. If you do not agree to abide by all the terms of this agreement, you must cease using and return or destroy all copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in your possession. If you paid a fee for obtaining a copy of or access to a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work and you do not agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement, you may obtain a refund from the person or entity to whom you paid the fee as set forth in paragraph 1.e.8. 1.b. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark. It may only be used on or associated in any way with an electronic work by people who agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement. There are a few things that you can do with most Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works even without complying with the full terms of this agreement. See paragraph 1.c below. There are a lot of things you can do with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works if you follow the terms of this agreement and help preserve free future access to Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. See paragraph 1.e below. 1.c. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the Foundation or PGLAF, owns a compilation copyright in the collection of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. Nearly all the individual works in the collection are in the public domain in the United States. If an individual work is unprotected by copyright law in the United States and you are located in the United States, we do not claim a right to prevent you from copying, distributing, performing, displaying or creating derivative works based on the work as long as all references to Project Gutenberg are removed. Of course, we hope that you will support the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting free access to electronic works by freely sharing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works in compliance with the terms of this agreement for keeping the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol name associated with the work. You can easily comply with the terms of this agreement by keeping this work in the same format with its attached full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license when you share it without charge with others. 1.d. The copyright laws of the place where you are located also govern what you can do with this work. Copyright laws in most countries are in a constant state of change. If you are outside the United States, check the laws of your country in addition to the terms of this agreement before downloading, copying, displaying, performing, distributing or creating derivative works based on this work or any other Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. The Foundation makes no representations concerning the copyright status of any work in any country other than the United States. 1.e Unless you have removed all references to Project Gutenberg. 1.e.1. The following sentence, with active links to, or other immediate access to, the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license must appear prominently whenever any copy of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, any work on which the phrase Project Gutenberg appears, or with which the phrase Project Gutenberg is associated, is accessed, displayed, performed, viewed, copied or distributed. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away or reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license included with this ebook or online at www.gutenberg.org. If you are not located in the United States, you will have to check the laws of the country where you are located before using this ebook. 1.e.2. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is derived from texts not protected by U.S. copyright law, does not contain a notice indicating that it is posted with permission of the copyright holder, the work can be copied and distributed to anyone in the United States without paying any fees or charges. If you are redistributing or providing access to a work with the phrase Project Gutenberg associated with or appearing on the work, you must comply either with the requirements of paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 or obtain permission for the use of the work and the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark as set forth in paragraphs 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.3. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is posted with the permission of the copyright holder, your use and distribution must comply with both paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 and any additional terms imposed by the copyright holder. Additional terms will be linked to the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license for all works posted with the permission of the copyright holder found at the beginning of this work. 1.e.4. Do not unlink or detach or remove the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license terms from this work, or any files containing a part of this work or any other work associated with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. 1.e.5. Do not copy, display, perform, distribute or redistribute this electronic work, or any part of this electronic work, without prominently displaying the sentence set forth in paragraph 1.e.1 with active links or immediate access to the full terms of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. 1.e.6. You may convert to and distribute this work in any binary, compressed, marked up, non-proprietary or proprietary form, including any word processing or hypertext form. However, if you provide access to or distribute copies of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work in a format other than plain vanilla ASCII or other format used in the official version posted on the official Project Gutenberg trademark symbol website, www.gutenberg.org, you must, at no additional cost, fee or expense to the user, provide a copy, a means of exporting a copy, or a means of obtaining a copy upon request, of the work in its original plain vanilla ASCII or other form. Any alternate format must include the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license as specified in paragraph 1.e.1. 1.e.7. Do not charge a fee for access to, viewing, displaying, performing, copying or distributing any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works unless you comply with paragraph 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.8. You may charge a reasonable fee for copies of or providing access to or distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works provided that you pay a royalty fee of 20% of the gross profits you derive from the use of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works calculated using the method you already use to calculate your applicable taxes. The fee is owed to the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, but he has agreed to donate royalties under this paragraph to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Royalty payments must be paid within 60 days following each date on which you prepare, or are legally required to prepare, your periodic tax returns. Royalty payments should be clearly marked as such and sent to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation at the address specified in Section 4, Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. You provide a full refund of any money paid by a user who notifies you in writing, or by email, within 30 days of receipt that he does not agree to the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. You must require such a user to return or destroy all copies of the works possessed in a physical medium and discontinue all use of and all access to other copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. You provide, in accordance with paragraph 1.f.3, a full refund of any money paid for a work or a replacement copy, if a defect in the electronic work is discovered and reported to you within 90 days of receipt of the work. You comply with all other terms of this agreement for free distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. 1.e.9. If you wish to charge a fee or distribute a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work or group of works on different terms than are set forth in this agreement, you must obtain permission in writing from the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the manager of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark. Contact the Foundation as set forth in Section 3 below. 1.f1.f.1 Project Gutenberg volunteers and employees expend considerable effort to identify, do copyright research on, transcribe and proofread works not protected by U.S. copyright law in creating the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection. Despite these efforts, Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, and the medium on which they may be stored, may contain defects such as, but not limited to, incomplete, inaccurate or corrupt data, transcription errors, a copyright or other intellectual property infringement, a defective or damaged disk or other medium, a computer virus, or computer codes that damage or cannot be read by your equipment. 1.f.2 Limited warranty, disclaimer of damages, except for the right of replacement or refund described in paragraph 1.f.3, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, and any other party distributing a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work under this agreement, disclaim all liability to you for damages, costs and expenses, including legal fees. You agree that you have no remedies for negligence, strict liability, breach of warranty or breach of contract except those provided in paragraph 1.f.3. You agree that the Foundation, the trademark owner, and any distributor under this agreement will not be liable to you for actual, direct, indirect, consequential, punitive or incidental damages even if you give notice of the possibility of such damage. 1.f.3 Limited right of replacement or refund. If you discover a defect in this electronic work within 90 days of receiving it, you can receive a refund of the money, if any, you paid for it by sending a written explanation to the person you received the work from. If you received the work on a physical medium, you must return the medium with your written explanation. The person or entity that provided you with the defective work may elect to provide a replacement copy in lieu of a refund. If you received the work electronically, the person or entity providing it to you may choose to give you a second opportunity to receive the work electronically in lieu of a refund. If the second copy is also defective, you may demand a refund in writing without further opportunities to fix the problem. 1.f.4 Except for the limited right of replacement or refund set forth in paragraph 1.f.3, this work is provided to you as is, with no other warranties of any kind, express or implied, including but not limited to warranties of merchantability or fitness for any purpose. 1.f.5 Some states do not allow disclaimers of certain implied warranties or the exclusion or limitation of certain types of damages. If any disclaimer or limitation set forth in this agreement violates the law of the state applicable to this agreement, the agreement shall be interpreted to make the maximum disclaimer or limitation permitted by the applicable state law. The invalidity or unenforceability of any provision of this agreement shall not void the remaining provisions. 1.f.6 Indemnity. You agree to indemnify and hold the Foundation, the trademark owner, any agent or employee of the Foundation, anyone providing copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in accordance with this agreement, and any volunteers associated with the production, promotion and distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, harmless from all liability, costs and expenses, including legal fees, that arise directly or indirectly from any of the following which you do or cause to occur. A. Distribution of this or any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. B. Alteration, modification, or additions or deletions to any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, and C. Any defect you cause. Section 2. Information about the mission of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol is synonymous with the free distribution of electronic works in formats readable by the widest variety of computers, including obsolete, old, middle-aged and new computers. It exists because of the efforts of hundreds of volunteers and donations from people in all walks of life. Volunteers and financial support to provide volunteers with the assistance they need are critical to reaching Project Gutenberg trademark symbol's goals and ensuring that the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection will remain freely available for generations to come. In 2001, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation was created to provide a secure and permanent future for Project Gutenberg trademark symbol and future generations. To learn more about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation and how your efforts and donations can help, see sections 3 and 4 and the Foundation information page at www.gutenberg.org. Section 3. Information about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation is a non-profit 501(c)(3) educational corporation organized under the laws of the state of Mississippi and granted tax-exempt status by the Internal Revenue Service. The Foundation's IN or Federal Tax Identification Number is 64-6221541. Contributions to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation are tax-deductible to the full extent permitted by U.S. federal laws and your state's laws. The Foundation's business office is located at 809 North 1500 West, Salt Lake City, UT 84116. 801-596-1887. Email contact links and up-to-date contact information can be found at the Foundation's website and official page at www.gutenberg.org/contact section 4. Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol depends upon and cannot survive without widespread public support and donations to carry out its mission of increasing the number of public domain and licensed works that can be freely distributed in machine-readable form accessible by the widest array of equipment, including outdated equipment. Many small donations, $1 to $5,000, are particularly important to maintaining tax-exempt status with the IRS. The Foundation is committed to complying with the laws regulating charities and charitable donations in all 50 states of the United States. Compliance requirements are not uniform and it takes a considerable effort, much paperwork and many fees to meet and keep up with these requirements. We do not solicit donations in locations where we have not received written confirmation of compliance. To send donations or determine the status of compliance for any particular state, visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. While we cannot and do not solicit contributions from states where we have not met the solicitation requirements, we know of no prohibition against accepting unsolicited donations from donors in such states who approach us with offers to donate. International donations are gratefully accepted, but we cannot make any statements concerning tax treatment of donations received from outside the United States. U.S. laws alone swamp our small staff. Please check the Project Gutenberg web pages for current donation methods and addresses. Donations are accepted in a number of other ways, including checks, online payments and credit card donations. To donate, please visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. Section 5. General information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol Electronic Works. Professor Michael S. Hart was the originator of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept of a library of electronic works that could be freely shared with anyone. For 40 years, he produced and distributed Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks with only a loose network of volunteer support. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks are often created from several printed editions, all of which are confirmed as not protected by copyright in the US unless a copyright notice is included. Thus, we do not necessarily keep ebooks in compliance with any particular paper edition. Most people start at our website, which has the main PG search facility, www.gutenberg.org. This website includes information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol, including how to make donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, how to help produce our new ebooks, and how to subscribe to our email newsletter to hear about new ebooks.